For those that don't know me, I am Jessica Van Hevelen. I am Dom Dewitt's Google Support Specialist, and I'm excited to go over the Q1 2024 update. So thank you for joining us either live stream or watching this video at a later time on our YouTube channel. With that, let's go ahead and get started and learn more about the Google Workspace updates that are available for all of you in our domain. Also, just a quickly reminder, there is a YouTube channel that you can access, either go into the Google Help website. It is a great resource for you. We strongly encourage you to subscribe, review, and watch. So go ahead and do that. If you haven't done so, there's a lot of resources there right at your fingertips. So again, I would strongly encourage you to review the YouTube channel. This is a great opportunity for your new employees to get familiar with Google Workspace, and there's a lot of resources for both the beginner to immediate and advanced users right there on our YouTube channel. Also, another opportunity that you can do is join our community space. There's a lot of resources there as well. You can access that on our Google Help website or on the slide deck that's provided for you in the question answer area of the live stream. Or again, or you can just find it on a Google Help website. For those that are watching this video that are outside the state of Iowa Google domain, there are some people that do watch my videos that are outside the state of Iowa. This is not available for you. This is only for the state of Iowa Google Workspace employees. With that, let's go ahead and continue on. So how is this going to work today? We're going to try to categorize the updates by app. So as you can see, I have a current slide showing here about Gmail. So we're going to focus on Gmail first, and then we'll navigate to chat and etc. as we navigate the slide deck. At the end of the slide deck, we will go through a demonstration on some of the Google Workspace updates, not all of them, but most of them. We will try to give you a live demonstration. The good news is we do have videos for some of these updates. Again, not all. So there should be additional help for you directly from the slide deck or on our Google Help website or on our YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and focus on the first app in hand is Gmail. Also, I do want to point out a few more housekeeping items as I navigate the slide deck, so I don't have to repeat it again. You can notice at the bottom right-hand corner of each slide, if you click on that little button that says tips, tricks, and training will take you directly to the resource of this particular update on our Google Help website. And when you go there, you'll find additional resources for you. Again, so if you need more help within the particular update or want to learn more, always click at the bottom and you'll find more resources regarding the update. The other thing is you will have GIFs and etc. here sometimes, and sometimes we'll have YouTube channels. So that is a little housekeeping item for you as we navigate through the slide deck. It is the same throughout each slide. So first app is Gmail. Gmail has a new update that introduces an updated and more inclusive emoji picker in Gmail. So as you find in many apps and other sources that everybody wants to be inclusive and be more your authentic self. So Google has allowed inside your Gmail to modernize your picker and choose more relevant, more authentic self that you are. So when you see a triangle next to an emoji, like this little hand fist bump, you will be able to click on that little triangle and then select the particular color tone that relates to you. And again, you can see that in this particular thumbnail or thumbs up. You can have different skin tones. Also, gender is another option when you have a selection of a person, with the hand, the face, or whatever. You'll be able to kind of color code with your hair and etc. So again, a good way to personalize your emoji experience through Gmail is now available as well. You've seen this kind of through other apps within Google. Now it is part of your Gmail. So again, more your authentic self and more inclusive emoji picker in Gmail. That's all I have for Gmail. That's short and sweet, but we're going to move to chat. Chat has probably one of the most updates, and also Meet is probably the next one that has a lot of updates. So we're going to go ahead and move on to chat. This one is to take action on Google Drive requests and comments directly in Google Chat. Okay, you're like, what does that really mean? Well, first of all, you need to have this availability, you will need to install, in lack of a better word, the Google Drive app chatbot. So that is the first thing you do. So you need to make sure, if you haven't already done so, I've talked about this before, it is a very useful tool inside your chat. So if you haven't installed the Drive app available in your Google Chat, I would strongly recommend you to do that. Not only does it have this new feature, but it has other features for you as well. Like when something is shared to you, you just directly get a message in your chat, or if you're using the approval process, it's right in chat as well. So it's a quick notification feature that you have available inside chat. So again, strongly encourage you to do that. This particular update expands on that Drive app inside chat. You can actually directly inside your chat reply to or resolve comments in Google Doc editors directly from here, as well as you can see in the GIF that they are currently responding to a chat and making that comment directly there instead of having to open up the doc and making the comment there. So again, less clicks means less work. Also, you will be able to see the comment thread. So again, a one-stop shop in a sense for you to quickly take action on those items that you have been tagged to or mentioned to, anything in that nature. So again, strongly encourage you to install the Drive app inside your chatbot if you haven't already done so. And also just go ahead and start using it directly in your chat, and you'll have quick and easy access to answer your questions and answers that people are requesting from you. Next one is improving space creation in Google Chat. As you probably, if you've attended in my trainings before, we've talked about this numerous times, and Google kind of keeps changing it. I know what they're trying to do, and they're trying to improve it, and that's great. Chat has had a lot of updates, such as like we migrated to inline threading in January, I believe, or I don't remember. It seems like forever ago, but we have made a lot of enhancements. Google has made a lot of enhancements within chat because it is our go-to spot, especially in the hybrid environment. With that, now when you create a space, there's two updates in this particular post here, is that one, if there's a space that has the same name. So if in this example that it shows in the screenshot, it says marketing leads. That means that space cannot be created. So that means it just kind of helps alleviate having two marketing leads spaces. So if you try to create a space and it says that space has already been taken, that means that name has been taken already. So that helps alleviate multiple spaces with the same name. So that's a good update to keep the integrity of the space name. As for the other update regarding this post is that you have a new option to select from. There's two purposes for spaces in a sense. You always have to think about what is your purpose of the space that you're creating. So if it is a collaboration space, as this shows here in this particular radio button, collaboration would be like a team environment. So in this example, and an example that I would use is the Google team collaboration. We are a team, right? We need to collaborate. This isn't an announcement only. This means I need to hear back from John. I need to hear back from Chad. I need to hear what Darwin has to say about it. It's a team space, a team environment. And so that is where you would want to select collaboration if it's that team environment that you're trying to use this space for. Again, space has more bells and whistles than just having a team group, because when you use a space, you have files, tasks, all inside that chat space. So again, I strongly encourage you to check out space if you haven't done so, and especially in the collaborative environment. So you have that option when you select a space. The other option that you have now, well, you've had it, but it's just a slightly different look, is announcements. Now, I talked about the Google Help chat space earlier. That is an announcement only. I really don't want feedback. You can react to the post that I put in the chat space, but however, it's an announcement. It's a broadcast. Another case scenario you could use a chat space in announcement is like, you know, your HR person could say, don't forget to sign up for your benefits, or, you know, a broadcast of something important. And hey, don't forget the deadline of that. It's just an announcement only broadcast. So you can use that as well. Be careful on how you set it up. There are some restrictions once you set up a space. It's hard to change some of the settings. I don't want to go into all that, but be aware and definitely check out the resources that are available on chat. So again, two good updates in regarding space creation in Google Chat. So now we're going to move on to Google Docs. Google Docs has made an improvement for page setup in Google Docs. Now I'm going to guess, I apologize for guessing, is that I bet a lot of you have not even tried the pageless option in Google Docs. I encourage you, Many of us aren't printing because one, we're working from home and we don't want to print and have all these copies laying around in our home, or just in the sense of that's just not the thing we do anymore, right? So Pageless is a great opportunity. It gives a web kind of look. It's a better dynamic look for your end users to review. Also, who doesn't need more real estate on your document? Pageless allows a lot of bells and whistles, such as inserting tables. It also lets you collapse your headers. It just has a more better end user experience to view the content. So first of all, I'm going to encourage you to change the Pageless. If you've ever opened my newsletter that I send quarterly, I use the Pageless option because it's a hyperlinks throughout the document. You're not going to print that. That's going to do you no good. So Pageless is a great opportunity for you to check out. Now, maybe there's other users maybe that are using the Pageless option. So what this particular update is, allows you to quickly switch from Pageless to print. So under the format option, you'll see then as this GIF goes, there's an option to switch to Pageless format. So that is a great opportunity for you to just toggle back and forth and quickly find it instead of going to File, Page Setup. So a nice switch, no pun intended, on how to switch from Pageless to print format. The next one is introducing drop-down options on the sharing button in Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drawings. So this is a little outside the Doc app. This is all slides, or excuse me, all doc editors and drawing. You probably have already noticed this. This isn't probably earth-shattering news for you, but the share button now has a drop-down option. So it's a really nice feature for you. What I find the drop-down option provides me the most benefit is actually the bottom screen. So if there's someone that you maybe have missed that request access either in your email or in the chat bot, the chat app drive, or maybe you just unsure if you should share it. So you can always open the drop down, click on that drop down, and you will have the option to see who recently accessed, wants request access from there. So that drop down is there for you too, to quickly see who has recently requested access to that particular doc editor and drawing. It also gives you quick visibility depending on your settings, and also a quick way to copy a link. So it's less clicks, which we always like. So there's just a lot more options. If you haven't noticed in the share button, it's got the material design of the light blue, but it also gives you the visibility of if it's a private with the padlock, which has always been there. What is your permission? Does it have the globe, or does it have the organization? But then also probably the biggest benefit of this particular update is the drop down and having options to see that without going into the actual sharing dialog box. So nice feature, less clicks, always a good thing. The next app we're going to discuss is Google Drive. So we're going to go ahead and focus on Google Drive next. The first update is to filter by people or groups in Google Drive. This is a nice feature. If you haven't used the search tips within Google Drive, I strongly encourage that. We always have a lot of content in our Google Drive, yay. However, we need to be better know how to filter better and also how to search. It's also important to keep it organized. That is a recommendation as well. So when you click on My Drive, this particular update, when you click on My Drive, you will have 3 chips that appear: Type, People, and Modified. These are filters. It's a way to filter out the data. What is this particular update? You'll notice in this screenshot here is that you can actually select a person in this example, and you want to look how many documents have I shared this particular Amy with, or how many documents in my drive that Amy owns, or both, owner or shared with. So that's a really nice feature. Not only that, you can also select all the documents that are shared within your organization, in our case, the state of Iowa Google users. And then you can also see that's outside external users. Is it shared with anyone with the link access? So it really helps. So maybe there is a particular concern that you want to restrict access for, Mickey Mouse and Minnie. You can quickly find out the documents that you have had that you've shared with Mickey or Minnie, or you want to see how many documents Mickey and Minnie own that you have access to. Again, a great way to look at that information. Again, there is a video to understand that a little bit more. This is probably one of my favorites because I do a lot of videos. And so with this, you can share a link to a specific time in Google Drive. Now, many of us are used to that in YouTube. So like if you go to YouTube, you can share by a particular timestamp. So if you want the video to start at 3 o'clock or 3 o'clock, 3 minutes in, you can go ahead and copy that link and it'll start that video at 3 minutes in. Awesome, right? Saves time. It provides a direct access to the part that you want them to do. Now, Google Drive has not had that availability for quite obviously until this update. So now, well, there was a way. I will say there was a way. You had to like actually do a little URL changing. So there, it was there. Just a little more advanced users probably knew that. However, this no longer needs to qualify as an advanced user to do so. You could actually just, when you click share, you'll notice in this example that you'll have a copy link, which would copy from the beginning of the video, or copy the link to this time. So like if you wanted to start at that 3-minute mark, you would actually get that option to start that or to copy that link directly from that time. So a huge update, especially in a long video. And some of us are recording our meetings. Obviously, they come into Google Drive. That's awesome. But maybe there's a particular area that you need to reinforce or talk more about. Instead of telling them it's in the 3-minute mark, you can just say, click here, and it'll take you to that spot that we need to discuss further. So again, a nice feature. Again, click share. You notice the drop down, and you have other options there now. So a really, really good feature. This is minor, but some people, this is funny, this is one I got reactions on in the chat space. So it's funny how I think it's a big, not a big update, but some people do. You can now, inside Google Drive, there is a new, it's a new look and feel is really what it is. You have you've always had the option to switch from list to grid view, which is very similar to File Explorer. You can always change it to, icons, to a list, and etc., depending on what you're trying to look for. It just really depends. If you're working with pictures, grid view is very helpful, right? You get a little thumbnail view, you know what you're kind of looking for. List view is more for the granular people that just like the list and files and folders. So again, it's a preference. What flavor are you choosing and what do you need it for? So what this particular update is just that it has made it easier to switch. It made a toggle button instead of just clicking on and off and knowing which view are you in. So it does kind of help provide better ease for you to know what view you're in and also quickly navigate to the other view if you choose to. So it is more convenient to switch between viewer modes. And again, based on your preference or flavor and what you need it for. Easily share Google Drive files to Google Calendar meetings. This is, so let's say, for example, I have a meeting in an hour and I've got the document ready. I really don't know who's all in the meeting, but I know I need to share this get this all shared ahead of time. And so what you can do now is if you have this doc or anything that's in Drive, you'll have the option to share like you normally do. You would start typing in the calendar event title in this case. So you'll notice you can start typing in this example, it's Lori and Michelle weekly. Or like the one I'm going to show here in a minute is the Google team meeting, Google training. Well, I really don't know who's all involved, but the calendar event does. And so you can actually share it to that particular calendar event and it will pull the people that you need to share with. And also it attaches to the calendar event. So again, 10 times easier, less steps, all kind of integrates again. Google has really improved on the interoperability between all apps. And this is another prime example. Here's a file that needs to be shared to a calendar event, and then you'll have it right directly in your Google Meet and pull it up. So again, nice feature that you could share by a calendar event title, and it will pull those users in. Jamboard, this is not as good news, I will be honest, but it is something I need to give you some information on. Jamboard is really not an update, it's an announcement. Google has decided to deprecate Jamboard. We as the Google team are actively exploring alternative digital whiteboard options, or if we don't go with an option, we're unsure at this current time, but please know that this is an action item for the Do It Google team. But we do want to inform you that on December 31st, Jamboard will no longer be supported by Google. So that means you won't have access to your files within Jamboard app. However, you can, and I'm working on a video at this time, you can download all your Jamboards into a PDF or an image if you choose to. Again, you can kind of wait on this and see what we decide as a Google team of what we're going to take as an action. We know there's not a lot of users that use Jamboard. However, it is a tool that it has been part of our Google Workspace, and we need to inform you that this is no longer going to be supported by Google. I strongly encourage you to check out the link at the bottom as that is our one-stop shop that will continue to update as we make decisions on this particular deprecation. So some of you probably, if you have used Jamboard, probably did receive an email from Google directly to your account. Some of you have not. Please know that that is valid. It is true. So make sure you do review the content, and please know that the Do It Google team is actively working on this deprecation. So be aware of that and keep checking back for more information on that webpage. Next app is Google Meet. Google Meet, this is just kind of a fun one. You can actually change your settings within your Google Meet to actually let you raise your hand. So I'm sometimes a little hesitant because I am a hand talker. So I'll be raising my hands quite often. But that is a feature where you could just physically, using the artificial intelligence, to just raise your hand, and it will raise your hand inside the Google Meet. However, it is something you have to enable. That is not on by default, and that makes sense to some degree. So just be aware that you can follow the instructions that's on here and enable the options. You just raise your hand like we are so used to in person. So that is an option. You can do it virtually without actually clicking on the raise hand feature inside Google Meet. I really like this one. Pin chat messages in Google Meet. I can't tell you how beneficial this is, and for me particularly. So a lot of times if I am training, or just I'm kind of ones that run the meeting, I put the document in the Meet chat, and then maybe someone came in late, and then I have to put that link back in there. But now I can actually put the link in the very beginning of the meeting. I can select pin that message, pin that important chat message inside Google Meet, and it will stay there. So even if Mickey Mouse does join late to the meeting, Mickey will see that pinned message at the top and go to it. I don't have to copy and paste that again. So there are some limitations if you turn on host management on or off, but be aware, like most people manage themselves in a Google Meet environment, but that is a really nice feature. So if it's an important message and you just want people to quickly find it, always pin it, and it'll always be there for the latecomers, and also just easy and quick, easy access for all your users. So you can pin multiple messages. So again, check that out if you haven't done so. I do have a video on that as well. Combine multiple video effects in Google Meet. This is a fun one. We have gotten it's funny now, I kind of see all these people with different backgrounds and filters now, and it just kind of makes me smile. So you can do the same thing, but you can actually add multiple effects to your background in your Google Meet environment. So you can see in the GIF here, there's background, filters, and appearances. So you can actually layer them on top of each other. So you can really get your own dynamic, authentic self and how you want to express yourself for that day. Some days I see people are just not as happy, and some people are really joyful with their background. So again, it's a way to express how you feel and bring that environment to the workspace as well. So again, multiple video effects in Google Meet. Google Sheets. We have a new option, another smart chip. The new smart chip in Google Sheets is ranking. You can add a new smart chip called ranking. Now you're like, why would I use this? The example is to rate the Marvel movies. That's not a great business need. I get that, but that's kind of fun when you're training to come up with how you would use it. But it could be like, for example, if you are rating an interview, you could say, she was really good about personal skills, great experience. You can use this smart chip feature for actual business needs. So be aware of that. That's a great way to rate your particular case. So again, a nice feature, a new smart chip. We have heard about smart chips the last couple of years, and how Smart Canvas has really incorporated in the Google Doc editors and also in our chat and etc. So again, another smart chip availability in Google Sheets, and that is the rate chip. Sites. This is where you can jump to your collaborator while editing Google Sites. So in this GIF that I made, you can see that Trainer 5 is in the Google site. And if I wanted to know where she was, I can just click on her, and it will take me directly to the page and spot that she's on. So again, this helps efficiency and collaboration, right? It's an easy way to save time and make it easier to collaborate within Google Sites. So be aware of that. We're kind of used to that within Google Docs. You can do the same thing. If you see someone editing a document, you can actually click on them and kind of get an idea of where they're at. So there's a lot of new features with that to improve the efficiency of collaboration. Google Slides. This is a really pretty big update. Create shareable video presentations in Google Slides. As a trainer, this is going to be very helpful. Also, it's a really good way to provide important announcements like leadership. This would be a great way to make professional presentations and provide information to our end users or to their employees and etc., or just even a good presentation. So it allows you to record a video on your slide, and you can do up to 30 minutes. So it's just a really nice feature that you have available. Some of us don't have like Camtasia or other video editing tools, but this allows you to have more engaging video presentation without the additional software as well. So definitely check that out. It's a really good feature. This is less important in my opinion, but it does help. You can have granular views of Google Slides within Zoom settings. So you can actually, normally we have the default of 50, 75, etc., but you can actually change it by typing in a number and giving you exactly the percentage you want to view that particular Google slide. So again, you can go up there and type in the percentage that you want to view your slide. I don't know how many people really do that, but it does help sometimes when you are dealing with a large slide deck. You'll notice this isn't like the first time we've seen the option to drag and drop image in Google Slides. This is slightly different. We talked about dragging and drop last quarter, I believe, how you can drag and drop an image directly into Google Slides. So you can do that. That's been launched already. But this particular launch and update that is here now as well is that you can actually drag an image into Google Slides as a background. So you can see in the GIF, it's actually changing it from green to the mountain view. You can just now drag and drop inside there. If you do not actually have it in an area where you're hovering over, it'll just then pull it in as an image. So you'll notice there's a slight difference when you're doing that. But you have both drag and drop option for background and image within Google Slides now. This one I just announced a couple days ago. Creating more immersive presentations in Google Slides. So again, you can notice that they're really focusing on how to present effectively and try to get the audience attention. So this is a really another way to really make great presentations. So again, this one is you actually will add a speaker spotlight. Think of it like a placeholder. You'll add the speaker spotlight, it's shown in the GIF. You place that speaker spotlight directly on the slide, and then you will then have the option to use your camera, and then you'll see like he's showing himself in there. And so it just shows more of a way to be part of the slide, right? And so you can do that. So you have that option, but what's really cool is it works for two different things. One, you can use that speaker spotlight inside of Google Meet if you present as a tab, which is really cool. And you also have it when you record. So again, it just makes this powerful presentation like you're sitting in the room. And that's kind of where I think is missing in our environment. And so this really helps to like, oh, he's actually, or she's talking directly to me. So it's that connection that we're trying, I think Google is trying to provide for us. And this is another great enhancement inside Google Slides. So now I'm going to switch just a little bit. I'm going to not present in a slide deck. I'm going to try to walk through some of these updates. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to go through some of them and just kind of give you a highlight so some of us can actually see it in motion of some of these updates and go from there. So give me one moment as I prepare for the second portion of this training. All right, thank you so much for your patience here. I'm going to try to go in order. I'm not going to promise you that it will work throughout the entire presentation and the remaining presentation, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first app we talked about was Gmail. And so we talked about the authentic emojis that are available for you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a compose window inside Gmail. And you can see there's the insert emoji. And again, anything that has a little triangle next to the bottom, you can actually select which skin tone, which one represents your authentic self. And so you can then see then it will stay the same for future, which helps. Also, if you have a person, an adult, you can always select, again, more representation of yourself. So again, just be aware that anytime you see a triangle, you have more options. So like the smiley face, the grin doesn't have a triangle at the bottom. So that's telling you you don't have the option to customize or provide more authentic self emojis. So I know, fun, right? But that is one of the updates. So I want to make sure you're aware of that one. The next one is chat. So I'm going to go ahead and go to chat. The first thing I want to talk about is chat. I know I've probably talked about this before, but we keep talking about this Drive app inside chat. And I keep warning you, like, it's a really good option for you. So what you can do, if you're not familiar how to install that or use that, the first thing is you have to have it inside your chat. So you go to chat and you will find apps. And I think I said bot earlier, but I apologize, but it's an app. And you would find Drive. And obviously I have it installed, but you would click on that, follow the prompts, and have it installed. And so that's a really nice feature. So now you can see that I currently have the Drive app installed inside my chat. Now, we've also mentioned numerous times too that you can actually access chat through your Gmail. You can access chat by going to chat.google, or you can use the Progressive Web app. And so if all that sounds like foreign language, I strongly encourage you to check out the resources that we have available regarding chat, especially if you type in Progressive Web App or PWA, you'll find that information. And I think that's a really good feature, by the way. Anyway, back to the original update here that we're going to talk about is the Drive app. If you have the Drive app installed, and you'll notice I have a few things appearing here, and you can see that it's really helpful. Like you can see that it's just kind of communicating to me of things that people are requesting access, or they have sent me an approval. Or in this case, the new update is that we've talked about how you can reply directly from here as well. So I can see that I have a comment here on this project proposal. I can say, oh, yes, I've updated that. So resolve, or I can go ahead and open that up and respond from there as well. But you can see that the comments, the comment thread is here. So I can just say resolve and it's done and I can move on. That's really a nice feature. This one is a sharing request. So you have more options as well. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. You get more options, which are to open up the file, or you can just say, yep, I want to share this to trainer one. That's up to you, but you have options there. And again, quick and easy access for you. So again, the Drive app really can help you navigate a lot of things. What else do I have with chat? Oh, create chat spaces. So when you create a chat space, you go up to new and you have the option to browse spaces, but in this case, we're going to create a space. And so you can see the new view. We have the collaboration, which it tells you exactly why the benefit of collaboration space is good. It's easily share files, assign a task, organize your conversation, etc. And then you have the announcement, which is broadcast and share updates to a group. Again, you can determine that. Again, be aware of some of the notes here. It's not part of the update, but like, for example, it cannot be modified after creation. Don't ignore those things. Like, so be aware of when you're setting up the space, you need to know what the purpose of your space is before you really kind of, and who is going to be your members of your space before you kind of create it. So the other thing is, like, you can't have multiple spaces with the same name. So I'm going to guess test is already out there. So I could not use that space name. It's already taken. So again, those are kind of the new updates regarding space creation. Let's go to Drive. I have a few Google Doc ones as well. So the first one is the page list example. Again, big fan of page lists. So I'm going to go ahead and open this document. This is my newsletter, and I actually do use page lists. Now, it's currently in the print format, and you can see it kind of cut it off. And again, that's not the format I want to use. I want as much real estate as I have when I do my newsletters. So I go to format, and the new option is to change it back to page list format. And you're going to see the benefit. Like, it's just a lot of real estate I get to use. It looks more like a web page. It's just a nice, clean, flat option for us. So again, pageless is a nice option. Now, for sometimes you might want to switch back to page format, you can quickly do so with the format and do that. The other option is you always could go to file page setup, which is more steps. And that's why I think they added the format option to quickly toggle back and forth between pageless and page format. So that's a nice option for you. Oh, the new grid view. So let's go to home. So over here is the new toggle option. This is where it's currently in list view. but you can now just quickly switch to grid view. And again, the grid view is nice, especially when you're doing images. I find it kind of a little too busy, in my opinion. Again, it's a preference, it's a flavor. So depending on what you're using, but sometimes we just need to toggle back and forth for whatever purpose we need. But that is the new layout we have available. The Google Drive update regarding videos. So I have a video here, a Google team meeting. So this is just a video and it's 11 minutes long, and maybe there's a particular spot that I really want people to watch, or this is a training video and I want them to start at a certain time. So I could select the time. So you can see now I'm at 1:10, and now I have the option to hit the famous drop down that's available, and I can copy the link to this time. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Notice that we're at 1:10 right now. I'm gonna copy this link and I'm just gonna go ahead and open it. This is the one thing that probably throws people off, is when you do that, you'll notice the URL has changed, but it looks like it's still starting at the beginning, and that's not the case. It just hit play and you'll notice that it started at 1:10. So just trust that it's working as long as you do that, but it's gonna start directly at 1:10. You can see that at the bottom there. So that's how those that option works. Let's see. Let's talk about the new option within Drive about filtering. So I'm inside my Drive, and we talked about you got to be a good filter user and how to search, and it just really can help you find your files more efficiently. So under my Drive, you have the 3 famous chips that we just talked about in the slide deck, and you have the option to select by type. I use this all the time, but that's not really what this update's about, but still strongly encouraged. But you can also go to people. And this is where I can pull quickly by how many files that I have shared to any state of Iowa users that are Google users. So I could do that, and I can select that I have 2 documents that have been shared in that particular permission that I just selected. The other option is you can go to people, you can do the same thing. Let's say I want to see how many files, or maybe there's a reason why I want to know, right? Whatever that reason is, you can actually hover over a particular user, and you can select how many documents is owned by Trainer 2, or how many documents I have shared. I think this is more powerful. How many documents have I shared with Trainer 2? And you can see then those are all the files and folders that I have been collaborating with Trainer 2. And it's really nice, another extra benefit, not part of the update, but let's say I want to look at this friends folder. I can actually look at other people as well directly from the screen by hovering over and selecting that item and clicking on the eye. And I can then see even more. It's been shared to Trainer 2. It's also anyone with the link access. I can see the activity and so much more by clicking on that famous information eye. I can find all that information regarding the file that I have selected. The other thing is one that's probably a little bit more hidden. You can select the people, but you notice it says search for people and groups. So I do have a group that I do use, but you can search your own group. I can type in the group email, and you can actually see any files that I have shared to that particular Google group. And Google Groups is a great way to share, distribute permissions. Anyway, I strongly encourage that as one of the best practices, especially within Shared Drive. But it's also just a really good way to keep the integrity of the sharing, because if you remove that user from that group, it removes access from that particular file or folder. So it's really a good way to share in large quantities. So anyway, this is the benefit of that. You can actually see that I've shared these files to that subgroup and go from there to that Google group, excuse me. Let's go ahead and go back to another example. Is speaking of sharing, is I have this email draft here, and I'm ready to use this in my next meeting that I have scheduled, and I need their help to collaborate on this document in my next meeting. And so I want to share that to my meeting attendees. So this is the new benefit where I can click share, and I can now type in that meeting name, the event name. I think it's training. I think I called it Google Training. There it is. Yep. So I have a meeting coming up here at 2 o'clock on this account, and the title of the event was Google Training. So notice it says it's 3 people. I'm going to go ahead and select that event. And now I have the option to attach it to that calendar. Again, awesome. And I don't even have to notify them if it's just going to go there, but I then can send it to those people. So nice feature. It'll be attached to that calendar event. The other thing, since we're in the sharing option here, let's go ahead and talk about the new drop down. You can see that it now shows that 2 people are shared with, but you can also click on the drop down and you'll see that you can quickly copy the link and it's shared with 2 people. So it just kind of gives you a great understanding of the permissions on this particular file instead of always going to the share button and looking at the dialog box. I think I ruined the other one, but this is where you also would find the request access here as well, as I shown in that screenshot in the slide deck. So again, if you haven't seen the drop down or haven't paid attention to it, it is your friend. It should help you make sure you have permissions the way you want within your Google Doc editors. I don't usually do Meet updates because it's really kind of hard when you're in a Meet, but definitely check out the slide deck for all the Meet updates. And usually I try to do training videos within Meet. The other app that I'm going to just focus on, the other ones are kind of hard to demonstrate on the go, but the resources are pretty self-explanatory, the slide deck. So I'm going to focus on the updates within Google Slides next. I'm going to go ahead and open Google Slides. And we're going to first talk about the Spotlight view, Speaker Spotlight, excuse me. So you'll find a new option inside your Google Slides that's a Speaker Spotlight. You click on that icon, and then you have all these little options to select. If you feel like a heart is how you want to present yourself, you can click on the heart, and you could place the heart wherever you want, and then my picture will appear in that heart. You also can right-click on that particular Speaker Spotlight, and then you can add that shape to all slides. That's an option for you. Again, go from there. I would probably get it exactly the way you want it and then do that. So this particular spotlight works when you are recording within Google Slides, which is one of the other updates within this, or you can actually use this same feature inside Google Meet and your picture will appear in that heart. I'm not going to do the Google Meet portion of it, but you can actually click on the recording option and I'll give you a good understanding. So there I am in a nice little picture of a heart, but you have that option to then it shows more of an immersive way to present your slide. This is where you can then also, this is a new feature, you could actually click record. It's going to ask you a few questions. And then you just go ahead and start recording this up to 30 minutes. And so I am now presenting in this particular update, et cetera, and now I'm done. I'm going to stop. And I have the option to re-record or save to drive, and it will do some things in the background. Let's go ahead, and you can see then the video recording is here for you. So it's a really nice way to make immersive video presentations and or just presentations altogether. So then you have this new video for you to distribute and share. So nice feature that is available for you for it's a dual purpose, dual update as I'm going over the recording and the speaker spotlight. I forgot to do the sheet one. So the sheet one is where you can add the new smart chip of ranking. So again, we know by now the famous @ sign is your friend when you're dealing with smart chips. So I'm inside a cell and I'm typing in the @ sign, and then you have all the smart chips that you have available for you. This one in particular is called ranking. Rating. I apologize. That's why I didn't come up. Rating. I apologize. Rating, not ranking. Rating. So then you have this new option with 5 stars. You can drag and fill those down. If you want this one to be a 5-star, you can actually click on the drop down and select the 5. You also can just type in the number 5. Or if you want 4 for this one, that works. You can also color code these. I was like, I don't really like black stars. So you can actually, highlight these cells, and you can change the color to whatever font you want, and red sounds very good. So it's a really nice feature to visually understand what they're ranked at. I'm calling rank, it's rating, but that is a nice option for you as well. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything else that I wanted to show. Like I said, I wasn't going to show all of them as some of them are very self-explanatory, but I don't want to forget something as I'm here. I think I got the big ones. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video.